Hello, everybody. Thanks for inviting me to talk about some of the issues that matter most to the communication workers of America. You can find more detailed answers on your website, but I just wanted to take a few minutes here to answer your questions briefly. In response to your first question about the Employee Free Choice Act, I'm an original sponsor of that bill because I believe that workers should choose whether they want to join a union without intimidation, coercion, or threats. Obviously, I was disappointed that the Senate failed to pass the Employee Free Choice Act, but I'll continue to fight for it, and I promise I will sign it into law as president. Now, part of what it will take to get the Employee Free Choice Act through the Congress is the ability to build a real bipartisan coalition. And I believe I am the one candidate who can do that by helping unite the country, by working effectively across party lines, and by putting the people's interests ahead of the special interests in Washington. And I'll also help ensure that we don't have to wait years and years to protect the collective bargaining rights of American workers. That's a right our workers should have today. In response to your second question about health care, my plan will help, not hurt our businesses. All but the smallest businesses will be asked to contribute to the larger healthcare system. So if employers are already currently providing quality coverage to their employee, they will not have to make a contribution. Otherwise, they will have to contribute unless they're too small to do so. Further, under my plan, will help ensure that unexpected or catastrophic illnesses do not make health insurance out of reach for businesses and their employees. My plan will cover a portion of the catastrophic costs employers incur if employers guarantee that such savings will be used to reduce their workers' premiums. But helping companies cope with costs is just one part of my universal health care plan. A plan that will cover every American, cut the cost of a typical family's premiums by up to $2,500 a year, and make sure that if you lose your job, you don't lose your health care too. That's the kind of health care we need in America. And that's the plan I'll sign into law by the end of my first term. In response to your third question about trade and jobs, this is an issue I've been working on for decades. When I first moved to Chicago after college, it was to work as a community organizer with a group of churches to help rebuild neighborhoods that had been devastated by the closure of nearby steel plants. So I understand this problem and what it does to our communities. And while we can't stop globalization in its tracks, what we can do is make sure the benefits of globalization are spread across the economy. We can make sure we have a government that's looking out for our workers. We can stop giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas and start giving them to companies that create jobs here at home. And we can ensure that no American worker has to compete with child labor or forced labor. That's why I fought to put strong provisions for our trade agreements that defend our workers. And that's why I'll fight to ensure that American workers have a seat at the table when we're negotiating our trade agreements, because those agreements should be good for everybody and not just corporate lobbyists. So we need to do more to strengthen our unions, lift up our working families, and help our workers compete with the world. And when I'm president, we will. Thanks for watching.